So tonight I am at South Point. There we are. And tonight they're giving us I guess a free buffet, a little thing there. Lots of cabs in the parking lot tonight. This parking lot is just full of cabs because everyone's here to get their deal. So, hey, how's it going?
Hey,
So I'm gonna go in here to get my my dinner. Check it out. Yeah, every cab in the valley is here right now, probably. So if you need a cab ride on the strip or anywhere, you might be shit out of luck. Everyone's there. They're all here at South Point. The South Point, they always put some lights out. It's always pretty nicely decorated. So this is pretty nice. We get a little a dinner. It's like a buffet, I guess. It's a nice night. No wind, so it makes it really nice when there's no wind. It's about what are we at? 56 degrees right now at 7:13. So here's all the lights they got here. Christmassy. Seems to be the place. Big line of taxi cab drivers. So I guess they got band gonna be playing. Merry Christmas from the South Point, Napa. I guess this is where we eat, huh? Yeah, lots of folks in here eating. Alright, I guess I'm gonna go grab some food because I'm really hungry. Probably copyright claim music. Party and have a good time. All right, well, I'm gonna go. That might be a separate. That might not be our deal. I don't know. Anyhow, I'm gonna go grab some grub. Here we go. Cab Driver's Holiday Party, Sonoma room. Okay, so here's our room. Over here, huh? All right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, lots of folks in here. So, we just pick a table or what? All right. I'm gonna go grab some grub. prime rib.
Good morning, everybody. All right, are we on? Let's see here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody. All right, sounds like it's working. Hey, it's 9:15 a.m. Pacific Time Zone here in beautiful Las Vegas. We're sitting at a temperature of 52 degrees. No, yeah, 52 degrees. Our high today is 64. Overnight low 46. I didn't have time to do my normal intros that I do. I can hear scrapes out there. So a little groggy. I didn't have any coffee this morning. I'm out of coffee, and I didn't run to 7-Eleven. So all I had was, but I did have my morning orange juice at least. At least I had my morning orange juice. So I've just been watching already, just since last night and this morning, all of these Adam the Woo. I guess you can call them like in memoriam type videos. Guys, I'm kind of devastated by the passing of Adam the Woo. I see a lot of you in the chat, you've never even heard of him. The guy had over 750,000 subscribers. I've been watching him for a couple of years, and I'm devastated. Really, I mean, it's just weird. I never met the guy. He was only 51 years old. He just died in his sleep, apparently. I don't know. So I just, I'm very sad. I'm very sad to hear about Adam's passing. Um, Everyone's saying what an inspiration he was, and he inspired me too. Even though I had already been doing my live stream, and I've been doing videos for quite a few years before I ever ran into Adam the Woo um, on YouTube. But he still inspired me to keep going, to do videos, to not worry about production value, not worry. Just get your camera, turn it on, and shoot, and just have a passion for it, to do it because this is what you want to do, not because of clicks, not because you want it to be all fancy and schmancy with a bunch of effects or whatever. Just turn the camera on and just let everything just come out naturally through, So anyhow, I don't want to, I don't. I hate crying shows. I don't want to start crying. But it's very sad. Very sad day for anyone who was a fan of Adam the Woo. But my condolences to his family, his parents, his sister, everyone who actually knew the guy in real life. I never knew him in real life, but a real testament to the guy. There are so many people like me who never met him in real life, but only knew him through his videos, who are we're all saddened and just devastated right now today. I want to change the subject because I don't want to. I'm going to start bawling my head off. Um, so I guess we'll just talk about the cab ride. I don't know. The opening little video I did, that was me last night. Those of you that went on the cab ride with me last night, you saw that video. But there's a lot of you that didn't. So last night they had a really nice little dinner for all the cab drivers that was put on by South Point Hotel, which is several miles, 5, 6, 7 miles south of the Strip. It's not on the Strip, even though it is on Las Vegas Boulevard, but it's not the Strip. And so that was what I did last night. Went to the dinner and had me some good grub. And they I took a little picture. Let's see. In front of a tree. I don't know. There, I guess that's my Christmas picture. Merry Christmas, everybody. That's my Christmas picture for the year. That's my Christmas card. Uh, at the deal last night, and then I went out, and it was really dead though. I only did 2 rides. After I ended the stream last night, I ended up just going home. I was in line at Caesar's Palace, and it was absolutely completely dead, not moving. The line wasn't moving. Um, I just went ahead and went home. I've never gone out and only did 2 rides before. I mean, that I've never ever done that before, but it was just dead. So went back to the yard and then caught a bus home. I got home actually at a decent hour. I got home about I think 1:30, 1:45, something like that. Which for me that's a decent hour because a lot of times I'm not getting home until 3:30, 3:45. Um, and then, but even though I got home early, I ended up not going to bed till about 4 because I was watching Adam Wu videos on YouTube here. I got caught up in that. Um, I watched his last video that he just the last one that he published was on Saturday, and it was such a great video. I don't have the link, but it was just him. Here I am. Here I tried to change the subject. Now here I am going back to Adam again. It was just him on at his where he lived in Celebration, Florida, and looking at all the Christmas lights. He had this little like golf cart that he would drive around, and I guess he had a buddy who was dressed in a Grinch costume, and that guy was funny. He really loved being. You could tell that guy was really loved being the Grinch. He was very good, and so it was Adam and the Grinch driving around in his town there in Celebration, Florida, looking at all the Christmas lights, and then his friend in the Grinch costume going around and doing Grinch stuff, and it was very funny. Typical Adam. You just watch his videos, and you just get wrapped up in it, and you just enjoyed it, and it was there, It's just so sad. But if you have a chance, it's the Daily Woo, I think his channel is called, and if you have a chance to, because I don't know if they're ever going to shut the channel down. Who knows what's going to happen. I mean, his parents. I mean, I don't know if it'll just stay on forever now, because if no one does anything, it'll just stay there. But who knows? So if you want to check out some Adam the Woo videos, maybe you should do it now. Who knows what's going to happen to the channel? But um, the one that he published on the latest one on Saturday, go watch it. You'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, so we got Jolie here. Jolie was first and was awarded the trophy of first place. Jolie says, "I'll be at work. Have a great show." Oh, Jolie might not even be here right now because that was probably really early when she posted that. That's right. Jolie's starting a new job today at the BMV, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, I think they call it. They're in Indiana. So Jolie, if you're listening, or even if you're not listening, we're sending some good vibes to you on your first day at work, on your new job. So hopefully you won't get shot too many dirty looks by the people waiting in line or whatever. Sandy Foltz is here. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you being here. Paul Burrows. Paul Burrows is not in a good mood. He's got to find money for new shingles for the roof. Man, Paul, I know it's just one thing after another up there, isn't it? Hope you find the money. Hope you can get your roof fixed. Brooklyn SJU. Hey, Brooklyn. Hey, well, Brooklyn, what you doing? How you doing? How you doing, Brooklyn? Brooklyn says it's snowing here. It's beautiful when you don't have to go to work. I canceled my gym class. No biggie. Well, have fun in the snow up there in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I'm watching TJ Christmas Party from last night. Derek 209 is here. Hey, hello, Derek. Good to see you. Not sure if I've seen you before, so welcome to the Driver's Lounge. And hope you'll come in and stay and hang out with us for a bit. Anna Moore is here. Hello, Anna. Anna was with us last night in the cab. So glad to see you coming back, hanging out with us for a bit. Brooklyn says it's snowing so hard here. I haven't seen it like this in years. Wow. Roxanne 79 is here. Hey, Roxanne. What's up? Feels like we're waiting for the bus. Um, Brooklyn, I'm watching the cab ride now on my other device. Thanks for watching that. John Glad's here. Always glad to see John Glad in the driver's lounge. Hey, John. Blessings to all, says John. Roxanne79 says, my damn fire alarm started chirping at 5:50 a.m. Good thing I got up at 5:30 and not to that damn thing. I just replaced all of them this October. This one was faulty one. Finally, by 8 a.m., it shut the fuck up. That's my AM. That's my AM. Brooklyn says, yes, I do. Oh, AM is Anna, for Anna Moore. Oh, okay. That's what they're saying, I guess, maybe. The cleaning girl came yesterday. I'm in bed with my cat. Petrazi 1920 is here. Hey, Petrazi, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit. Anna Moore says that was cool, TJ, to do as an intro. William, hey, William, good to see you, William. Thanks for coming on in, hanging out with us for a bit. Bonnie Balcom is here. Hello, Bonnie. Wow, it's Fancy. Hello, Fancy. Always good to see Fancy coming on in. I do appreciate you. Zifroxel is here, I guess. I don't know if that was a troll because the message got retracted, but you retracted it yourself, so I don't know. If it was something we didn't need to see, thanks for retracting that. Danny Pomeroy's here. Hey, Danny. Number 12, thumbs up. We got 26 watch and 23 thumbs ups. We are at a bit of a deficit, so maybe we should get to a balanced budget at least. That would be nice. So hit that thumbs button if you haven't already. That'd be great. Uh, MJ Daniels here from Washington State. There. Good morning to you, MJ. Hope you're not getting rained on right now. I know you guys have been getting a lot of rain. I think we might have some rain coming in our way too. Anamor says, "So sorry for your loss, TJ. We never knew how someone's death is going to affect us." Roxanne says, "Oh, he sounds like a good, cool guy. How did he die?" They don't know yet. He just all it's being reported. He died in his sleep. He was only 51 years old. His latest video, he seemed fine. The one that was published on Saturday, he seemed fine. Um, you know, I don't know. They're going to do an autopsy, try to determine the cause of death. But sometimes people just go. I guess. Mm. Um, Squirrel Girl, really sad to hear loss of a good person. Yeah, I highly recommend that you guys check out his videos. You can just search it on your YouTube search thingy and for Adam the Woo or the Daily Woo or whatever should pop up. James Jaramillo's here. Hey James, good to see you. Good morning to you. Karen Ames from the Victor Valley is here. Hello, Karen. Thanks for joining us today in the old driver's lounge. Hey, Nick Rich 56 is here. Good to see Nick. Like number 18, 922. So I'm only 9 minutes. I'm 9 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 9 minutes behind. I'm only 9 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 9 minutes behind. Some of that goofy stuff is inspired from Adam. He didn't do that, what I just did, but he would do stuff kind of like that. The guy rubbed off on me. He kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. Um, I don't. Brooklyn asked, did he have kids? I don't think he did have any kids. James Jaramillo had to take a call EEG schedule for February. Hope that goes all well for you there, James. Hope that goes well for you. Nick Rich, these new names are hard to get used to at Brooklyn. Paul Burrows has a cardiologist appointment on the 7th to see if I have a heart. It's like, did you find anything there, Doc? Well, I hope that goes well, Paul Burrows. I hope all goes well for you there. MJ Daniel says, we are having to deal with the insurance company after some ass rubbernecker nicking rear-ended me. The repair shop called it a total loss, and I bet they will try to lowball us. Still owe over $6,000 on it. Yeah, that sucks. David Weiss from Denver's here. Hey, David, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Roxanne Adamu at the Daily Woo. Yep, that's the one. Brooklyn, or no, James Jaramillo says says at Brooklyn SJU or says, damn, I just got they called to schedule an MRI for tomorrow. Hey, Belfast Bob. Let's hear. Hey, Belfast Bob. Good to see you. Says hello, TJ Loungers and mods. Merry Xmas. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you. All the way from Ireland. All the way from Ireland. MJ Daniel just found a bunch of memorial videos for the Woo. Never watched them. Very sad. Yeah, it's so sudden. Like for him to just die in his sleep. Just at 51, just just he just came out of left field. It was just that's the thing. It's not like he was 81, or whatever. I mean, nothing against 81-year-olds, but at 81, you might. It's not so shocking if someone died in their sleep, but 51. Uh, I don't know. Mr. Spock is here. Live long and prosper. Happy Festivus for the rest of us. Here, I'll take that down. Anyhow, uh, what's going on in the world? I didn't watch any news this morning. I don't even know what's going on. Is Trump still alive? Why can't that guy just die in his sleep? Of all the people who should be dying in their sleep, it should not have been Adam and the Woo. Now the thing about Adam is, he never really got political. I have a feeling though he had right wing leanings, but still, I don't give a fuck. I still love the guy. I still thought he was a good guy. But I guess Trump's still with us. He's still. Brooklyn says, I remember Ray Lillard died in his sleep a couple of years ago. I was shocked. Yeah, that's true. I remember that too. Karen names new Epstein dumps. So we got some more Epstein stuff that was dropped. I haven't seen any of the new stuff. Anything unredacted that shows Trump, or they just keep redacting all the Trump shit and then expect us to believe that it's all just Clinton? And Clinton has called their bluff and said, "Hey, go ahead, show everything. Show everything. We'll put our pictures up against the Trump pictures any day. Stop redacting all the Trump shit." You know? Anna Moore says, TJ, my daughter says that evil never dies. And only the good die young. DPD 5844 is here. Hey, DPD, good to see you. DPD says, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. And TJ, and I'm profoundly sorry for your loss. It's okay to cry. We're here for you. Thank you, DPD. I appreciate that. Everyone's talking about their EEGs and MRIs and stuff that we're getting done. Karen names Trump stuff this time. Trump stuff this time. So there's Trump stuff. Karen names I haven't seen what all got dumped, but yes, but Trump is in them. Belfast Bob says they're doctoring photos, etc., cheating maggot pigs. It's pretty apparent that everything that's been blacked out so far that we've seen, I think it's safe to assume that that's just all Trump. And if they don't want us to think that, then they need to unredact that shit. Yeah, MJ Daniel, come on, Donald, we triple dog dare you. Release everything everything unredacted. We double dog dare you yellow bellied whatever yellow dog. What did Biden used to say? Like yellow dog, scaredy cat. I don't know. I don't even know what he said. I don't remember what he used to say, but maybe someone in the chat would know. I'm sure there is someone in the chat that remembers what Biden used to say. It was a quote from some old movie, I guess, and I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. Belfast Bob, can't wait to see dumps golden battleships. Yeah, I was watching a video about that too. It's so fucking ridiculous. Trump is insane. He's actually fucking insane. Um, he wants to design these fucking battleships like he's some sort of now he's like an architectural engineer. He's gonna design a fucking battleship. Yeah, and you know it'd be all decorated with his gold shit. And he wants to make all these memorials about him. He said the ballroom is a memorial to him. This fucking gaudy ass ballroom he's gonna build that's bigger than the actual White House. And he wants that as a memorial to himself. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about, remember, you know, ever since Trump came onto this scene politically, he's been around for a long time. But you know, going back to the 2015, 2016 campaign, the term what was it, malignant narcissist has been bandied about. And if you never really understood, like maybe like myself, exactly what a malignant narcissist was, I think we're seeing what it is. He's tearing down parts of the White House to build a ballroom as a memorial to himself. He's putting his name on the Kennedy, um, arts, whatever that's called, Kennedy Center. That is malignant narcissism, if I've ever seen it. We're seeing it all come to fruition, and he wants to make these battleships and design them and put his all this stupid shit on it. The man is insane. We have this insane ruler. We have an insane president. If there was ever a time to 25th Amendment a president, this is it. But of course, these, the folks that could do that are all of his sycophants that he's appointed. So it just goes round and round and round. And we're stuck with this fucking incompetent moron, for one thing, who on top of it is what they say, a malignant narcissist. We got to hang on to till next November and take back Congress, all of it, both chambers, House and Senate. Sandy Phillips, did you have any fares? I had two. Sandy, you were there, weren't you, Sandy? You were watching last night, weren't you? Yeah, I got two. You saw that I got. Maybe you weren't there. I don't know. Roxanne, yellow-bellied bastards. Nick Rich says, I heard that there's a rumor that redacted files can be unredacted by copying and pasting from one to another file. I haven't tried it. Well, that's what I thought too. I've heard that also. Not even related to this, but in other, just over the years, I've heard that redacted things can be unredacted digitally. And then, but then when I saw, if you saw, I guess it was maybe on Hal's show or probably anywhere, other places too. But I think I saw it on Hal's show where you saw all those ones instead of it being blacked out, they just put post-it notes over it. And the first thing I thought was, oh yeah, they're doing that because they really don't want these ones to be unredacted. So if you see the ones that have the post-it notes over it, because that's an actual physical post-it note, I think. I don't think that was digital, right? I think those are the ones that they're like, okay, we really don't want anyone to try to unredact these. So I think they just stuck post notes over. Either that, or they were just tired of of trying to black everything out. They're definitely covering up for Trump. And I heard, I watched a clip from I don't know one of the Fox and Fringe shows, and there's this one fucking asshole, right wing sycophant on the show. I think he's a former Congress person who goes, "This just proves that it's all Clinton. It's always been all about Clinton because all we're seeing is Clinton, and this proves it right here." I felt like, I felt like punching the guy in the face. Okay, I'll just be honest. Karen Ames says apparently DOJ attached a letter stating some of the documents contain untrue and sensational claims made against Trump that were submitted before the 2020 election, and the letter goes on and on. Yeah, Pam Bondi needs to be impeached. It's just it's so obvious, how much our attorney general is just totally, and we knew this. I mean, she already took a $25,000 campaign bribe back when she was attorney general of Florida to look the other way for Jeffrey Epstein. She's been knee deep in this shit for years and years and years. She needs to be impeached. Danny Pomeroy says the laws behind the whole Epstein file will come out after Trump leaves the office, smiling from Bitcoin to crypto over $3 billion today. I still don't trust crypto currencies, and I don't know much about it. I have a feeling Donald Trump knows even less than I know about it. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow he loses all that shit too. You know, Belfast Bob, like nobody's ever seen before. And William says we don't need battleships; they're obsolete. That's another thing. Yeah, it was one of the retired generals was talking about how we don't make those ships anymore. Yeah, they're. I mean, the last one they haven't been building them really since the 40s or something. They're decommissioning most of them. Nick Rich says frontal temporal dementia doesn't improve with age. Penny to create is here. Hey, Penny, good to see you. Penny says dementia dawn, the collapsing con. Roxanne, who saved Ballroom Blitz? It wasn't Queen. It was. It was. God, I know who it was. I love that song. Blitz, Blitz, the Ballroom Blitz. Ooh, it's a Ballroom Blitz. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it wasn't Queen. No, can't remember. Let's see. DPD says I apologize. CJ, I apologize for leaving the gang hanging. I enjoyed the show, but we lost power twice last night. Needless to say, we are set for the one we just purchased, a portable generators. So fuck you, Duke Energy. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your power going out. That always sucks. And no need to apologize, especially for that. Karen Ames says, I think his dementia is the vascular dementia, which is worse than the frontal lobe. I don't know, whatever it is, but even without dementia, even before the dementia started kicking in, the guy was an asshole. Uh, you know, and now put this on top of that. MJ Daniel says one of the very first things that needs to be done if Democrats can get the majority are impeachments and criminal trials. This cannot be allowed to stand. Yeah, I hope so. I listened to the Major Ojeda, and he's always saying how we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to have these trials. And all I can say is I'll believe it when I see it, because we've been hearing this. I've been hearing that Donald Trump's going to go to prison for 10 years now, and he hasn't seen one day behind bars. So I'll believe it when I see it. Let's start seeing some fucking you know actual things happening. Talk is cheap. Let's see some results. I know we can't do anything too much now. I mean, they are introducing articles of impeachment and stuff, but we know that they're not going to go too far unless they can get some Republican support. Once we get back the House and the Senate, and you know, as a result of the next November's elections, and the offices, they'll take the office in January of 27. Uh, you know, Even though we don't have the White House, we can still impeach if we can get it back. We get the numbers. But that's over. That's a whole year away, man. So just we got to hang in there. We got to hang in there somehow, some way. We can't let it all slip away. We can't lose our democracy. We can't lose our republic. We can't lose it. We can't. And hopefully, there might be enough Republicans in the meantime that will agree with that, because the numbers are so close. We might only need a handful. We don't need all of them. Brooklyn says someone gave me a free membership to Hal's show. That's pretty cool. Karen Ames says my mom had the vascular dementia, and she had the outbursts. Her personality got meaner when she got mad. Well, that makes sense. That you would get meaner when you get mad. Um, Nick Rich says Bubba says to release everything, bring it on. Yeah, he called their bluff. He's calling their bluff, and then good on them. Good on the Clinton people. People, the people. Belfast Bob says the Dems, etc., never got 600 folks sacked from their jobs for calling out CK. Um, yeah, all this fucking horseshit. And I was going to say something I forgot now. I don't mean to pick on Major Ojeda. There was another thing, because I watched this video last night, I guess, or yesterday, and I think it was last night, and he said something else, and I was like, "Oh, they were going to do, what was it? I don't remember what it was now, but it's just, I'm so tired of the inaction. I'm tired of things not happening. You know, Tired of the lack of leadership. Danny Pomeroy says if that's the law behind the Epstein files, Pam will be charged at some point after Democrats take midterm elections and control both chambers of Congress. We must fund open Senate seat up for election. The Suite. There you go, William. Yeah, the Suite did the Ballroom Blitz. It's a ballroom blitz. Ah, it's a ballroom blitz. There, there, there. I love that song. Belfast Bob says the Navy brass playing dump, so he'll give them $1 trillion as Pentagon governor. Karen Ames says they also sang Fox on the Run. Fox on the Run. Nick Rich says DJT has deranged thinking and stinking and sinking. Maybe. I don't know. MJ Daniel, we the people need to demand they do the right thing. We need to get back to the streets. We need to get back out in the streets and by the millions, many, many millions. You know? Roxanne says, Google says Ballroom Blitz was by The Sweet, a British band. I've never heard of them, but I know that song from Wayne's World. Yeah, The Sweet. That was a big, big song. Wow, it's Fancy. $2 super chat. Thank you, Fancy. Yippee! Going out to Fancy. Give you a thumbs up and a heart. I do appreciate that. And I see Belfast Bob with a 5-pound. It's so heavy. 5 pounds. Yippee! Going out to Belfast Bob. Thank you so much. Both you, Fancy and Belfast Bob. Thanks for helping support the show. Keep us going. Keep us on the air here. I do appreciate you. Alrighty. Mad Mac is here. Slava Ukraini. Absolutely. Slava Ukraini and Vladimir Putin. You can kiss my fucking American ass. There, I just let him send a little extra something to Putin. James Armio says, "I'm sorry, but what the fuck good does us waiting until next November do when this piece of shit Trump is destroying everything today?" Well, I'm saying, I mean, what can we do now? I mean, other than we can peacefully protest. I do believe in that. We can have a general strike. That's what we can do. We who are not in elected office, we can hold protests. I guess we could write letters and make phone calls to our representatives. I mean, I'm all for that. Other than actually doing what the Jan Sixers did, I guess we could storm the Capitol. I don't know. Is that what you want? I mean, it might come to that at some point, but if we do it, it'll be for real legitimate reasons. It won't just be because we want to try to change an election or something, you know. In a way, though, I guess it would be. I mean, I'm just as frustrated as you guys are, but we Democrats can introduce articles or whatever for impeachment, but unless they have bipartisan support, it's not going to go anywhere. So tell me then what can we do between now and next November? What can we do other than protesting like we did for No Kings, which I think is a good thing, other than having maybe a general strike, which no one was going to do. I mean, maybe a small percentage of people will do it, but realistically, how to have a general strike work, it has to be, I think the majority of the people have to like not go to work, not buy things at the stores, not buy gas, not do anything. I think you've got to have at least 60, 70, 80% of the people to do that. Are we going to is that going to happen? I mean, maybe if things get so bad, maybe, but what can we do? What do you want us to do, James Jaramillo? What and realistically, what can we do besides vote in November and have protests like No Kings? What the fuck can we do? What the fuck can our representatives do other than introduce articles of impeachment that aren't going to go anywhere because they don't have the numbers? What can we do? You seem to have some idea on this. Share your idea as to what we can do. And I've already said the things we can do. I agree. I realize it's frustrating. I'm frustrated too. But other than having some kind of type of a coup, I don't know what we can do that's going to make any difference other than trying to hang on until November and take back the House and the Senate. And in the meantime, we can have protests. We can try to get a general strike going. We can contact our representatives. We can make phone calls and stuff like that. That's about all we can do. Or storm the Bastille. But I don't know if I would really recommend that at this point. Because that's a coup, basically. And who knows how that would go? I mean, it would literally take. We would literally have to have millions and millions and millions of people, not just the few thousand people that they had at Gen 6. We would have to have, I think, millions and millions of people on board with that and actually do something. Brooklyn, we're at zero mod capacity. Yeah, I think Jolie's at work, and we haven't seen Aaron, so I think they're both working. But that's okay. I mean, they deserve to live their lives and do what they have to do, and you guys are pretty good. You're a pretty good chat room, so I'm not too worried. And if we have something really awful, I'll try to take care of it as soon as I see it. We're at zero mod capacity. Yeah. Danny Pomeroy says midterms in 2018, Americans and billionaires cult spent over, I don't even know what that is, how many billions of dollars that is, $620 billion, to make Americans poor again. This has been the plan of Project 2025, turning billionaires into trillionaires. Mr. Spock, no mods. Let's give TJ a hard time. Don't threaten me with a good time. Sandy Fultz says, TJ, just let the problem go. Don't worry about it. That's what you can do. Let it go. Let it go. Is that from the Frozen movie? Let it go. Just let it go. Well, there is that. That is a sort of a philosophy that some people have. Just let it go. You know. Danny Pomeroy says, vote on the 4th, strike on the 7th, midterms elections. Vote on the 4th, strike on the 7th? I don't even know what that means. Midterms elections. I was talking about the midterms, so I don't know what you're talking about. Roxanne says, got to think positive and envision a successful protest strike. We put that energy in the atmosphere, avoid feeling hopeless. We are stronger than that. Yep, we got to keep on trying. Cool, I'll think on it. Nick Rich, 10 a.m. I'm only 4 little minutes. 4 little minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm only 4 minutes behind. Karen Ames says more people than the last No Kings protest need to get involved. Well, that was the hope, and I think they're going to have more. They have more events planned but the hope was to to build on the last one. The last one they say got at least 7 million people out all across the country. I think the hope is for each one is to get more and more and more people. DPD 5844 says here in Ohio there is a city council member not in my community that was accused and charged with sexual assault against children. 5 members voted to fire him. 1 member voted in his favor. It was 5-1. Good. So oust that fucker. Oust him. Hey, there's Suzanne Forsepi. Good to see Suzanne. Thanks for coming on in. Suzanne says good morning to Karen Ames and everybody, I guess. I haven't seen Suzanne in a while, so thanks for coming in. Belfast Bob says approach the members of Congress in person at their offices in Washington if that's legal. Is that going to change things? I mean, I'm all for peacefully trying to interact with our elected representatives. I'm all for that. Voicing our grievances. Karen Ames is how long this afternoon? I believe so. As far as I know, Karen, he's, I think, going to be on. I don't know if he's going to be on Christmas or not, but I think he's going to be on today. That would be 3 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, there's Jolie giving us a wave. On break, maybe. I don't know if you're on lunch break or just break, but thanks for jumping on in. All hell is broken loose without you, so thanks for coming back in. I'm just kidding. They've been on their best behavior, Jolie. The loungers here been on their best behavior. Suzanne says, good morning, dear Trucker John. Howdy, dear friend. Howdy back at you. Good to see you. Oh, Josh Sees is here. Good to see Josh Sees, even though he's just lurking. But we see you. We see you back there lurking, Josh. In the corner over there. Sandy says, hi, Josh, babe. Hope you have a nice holiday. Belfast Bob says, just a little reminder in their ears of what they're supposed to, in their ears of what they're supporting in Dondum. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for people either trying to see them at a town hall. There's limited access if you actually go to the Capitol, but but certainly call their offices or send postcards voicing your discontent. Nick Rich is buffering. Is wondering if it's just him. I am, and I'm curious to know is it just Nick Rich or not? Barbara Nicholas is here. Says Wednesday. I'm not sure if that is. If you're wondering about Hal being on Wednesday, maybe. Again, I don't know. I don't know. I think he is, but I don't know. Roxanne says no glitching. There where Roxanne's at. It might just be a Nick Rich thing, maybe. I might have to reboot Nick Rich. Hey, there's Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Robert says howdy from soggy San Diego. Johnny, have a groovy day, everyone. Yeah, so you guys are getting the rain, and so it's I think it's going to be. We'll probably get the rain tomorrow or something. Yeah, Jolie's on lunch break. Well, enjoy your lunch. Thanks for stopping by while you're on your lunch break. How's your new job going? I hope it's going well. I know this is day one, so I hope it's going well for you. Belfast Bob, 1808, dinner time here in Ireland. I believe that would be 6:08 p.m. I think, if I know my that time system. Sunny Falls, TJ, are you going to have live stream Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? Yeah, I think I will because I'm just going to be home. Um, I guess so. I might be driving. I might be doing this, but in one form or the other, either here in the apartment, or I might do a cab live thing or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be out there. Just hit that notification bell thingy, and or just I'll try to announce things either on my community post or something to keep everyone updated. um, Brooklyn says, "What's the deal with Boston Brian? Have there been words in the past between you?" I don't know. I don't know. What is the deal with Boston Brian? Did he say something about me? I haven't said anything about him, so I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm wearing a fucking blunt T-shirt today. I'm wearing his T-shirt today, so I don't know. Jolie says it's boring. I guess at her new job. Read the handbook. Watch other people work. So TJ says been real good with time management the last couple of weeks and working. We should raid Boston Brian at 2 p.m. and you can go about your day rocking and rolling. So right now it's in my time it's 10:12. So I don't know what I don't even know what time he comes on. So he's going to come on. Is it 2 o'clock your time? Is he on now? I don't know. So I can't keep track with him because he's on like all the time. Yeah, here's another Adam the Woo memorial. Anyhow, uh, is he coming on in about 45 minutes? Maybe we'll do another 45 minutes and we can raid Boston Brian again. Uh, I think he comes on at 11 my time, maybe Pacific time. I don't know. Uh, DPD 5844 says Jeff Landry has been appointed special envoy to Greenland. Landry stated he would be proud to make Greenland part of the U.S. So now we are getting ready to invade Greenland. This cannot continue. Um, yeah, well, we're not going to invade Greenland, but still, it is just ridiculous that anyone from our government should be talking like that. Chief Sarmio says next November will be too late. Sir TJ, you know that as well as we all do. Not trying to start shit, but it is what it is. I'm just asking you, what can we do then? What do you want to do? Have a coup? Where we turn into like Jan Sixers and we just storm the Capitol and storm the White House? What is it we're supposed to do between, if November is too late, it will be too late, according to you, by November when we vote in our midterm congressional elections. It's too late by then. Okay, so what should we do? I guess right now. What are we supposed to do? That's all I'm asking. What is it you would have us do? Have some sort of uprising where we storm the White House and we carry Trump out on a pike, I guess, or haul him off to the Hooskow? I would love that, hauling him off to the Hooskow. Is you really think that's going to happen? I mean, what would you have us do if November's too late? Sounds like things are pretty desperate. Desperate times call for desperate measures. What would you have us do? Pick up our pitchforks and storm the White House, I guess. I don't know what you would have us do. When really, I mean, all we can do is we can peacefully protest like no kings. We can write and call our representatives. We can go to, if the ones that have balls enough to have town hall meetings, we can go to those. But other than something really kind of violent, like an uprising would be, if we stormed the White House and stormed the Capitol with our pitchforks, that would be a violent act. So other than doing a violent act and doing the things that I've already mentioned, which might help to sway some Republicans to come over to give us the votes we would need. I mean, remember in the Senate, let's say if they impeach Trump and they go through the whole thing, the Senate has to vote to carry out the removal. And I believe you need a 3/4 majority. I believe you need like 67 votes. So through our cards and letters and protesting, could we get enough Republicans to do that? To come over? I mean, is that what you're talking about? Because I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about when you say November is going to be too late. I don't know what we're supposed to do in the meantime. You haven't given me anything other than it's just going to be too late, and that I know that it's too late. I don't know that it's going to be too late. I mean, it's one thing to say that it's going to be too late, but then get on me because I'm telling everyone to hang on until November, but you're not giving us any alternatives. You're not giving us anything constructive that we can do. That's all. I just want to know. I want guidance. I guess I'm seeking guidance. But what can we do? If we're not going to make it to November, then what can we do? Just do like Sandy said and just kind of don't worry about it. Just accept it, maybe? I don't know. Accept our new authoritarian oligarchy theocracy or fake theocracy. Mr. Spock, if there is a midterm. Um, Again, if there's not, then what are we going to do? I guess pass out the pitchforks or something. I don't. Is that what, I'm trying to figure out what you guys are suggesting that we do. If it's not vote and if it's not protest peacefully, like no kings, then what do we do? Is that what it's coming down to? Actual, a real like civil war? Is that where we're at? Are we? Because it sounds like that's what you're saying to me. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me. We're not going to have elections. So either we just take the crumbling and destruction of our country, or we get up and I guess we have to have a war. I guess about it. I don't know. Someone help me out here. Talk me off this ledge. Now, I kind of agree with Sandy. Sandy says, "Let it go and don't worry about it." Now, I don't really know if I agree with that part. Why is it so important that what Trump does? Just let him be president and let him do his job. Um, I mean, Trump is an awful person, and he's an awful president, and he can do an awful lot of damage while he's in office. So that is the anxiety uh, that sets in, is how much more damage is he going to do to our country between now and whenever he leaves office. Um, and that's why I'm hoping in November we can get a Democratic Congress in there to help stymie whatever he can do. But that's still a whole year away, and according to James, we're not going to even make it to November. Um, and I'm but I am kind of like, there is only so much we can do. We can protest peacefully or protest not peacefully. Those are basically the two things. Or we can, write and call our elected officials. And we can vote. Those are basic. What else is there? What was that? There's like five things. We can either protest peacefully, we can protest not peacefully, uh, we can write and call our elected officials, and we can vote. Okay, that's four things. Because write and call, I kind of put those together. What else is there? That's it. That's it, folks. That's all we can do. Those 4 or 5 things that I mentioned is all we can fucking do. Zaxville, that's 2/3 majority. What did I say? Whatever I said. Did I say 3/4? Well, you know what I mean. It takes a super majority. William said, like Malcolm X said, by any means necessary. Is that where we're at? If that's where we're at, William, then start sharpening your your pitchforks. Start sharpening your pitchforks. I guess. I know I'm using this really, outdated, antiquated weapon, or it's a tool used as a weapon, a farm tool used as a weapon. But it's like a metaphor, I guess. It's like a metaphor. But are we at the by any means necessary part? Because to me that means by any means necessary. That means violence as one of the means, as a means. Are we ready to get violent? Is that what we're calling for? Elections aren't going to work. We're not going to make it to the elections. So there's really two things we can do. We can do the Sandy way, which is let it go, let the president be the president, let him do his thing, just don't worry about it. That's option number 1. Okay. Option number 2 is by any means necessary, which to me sounds like you're ready to get violent, because that's what it is. Let's call it what it is. Apparently, that's the only two choices we have right now. Voting's out of the question. It's either just kick back or just kick back, don't worry about it. Let's let them do what they're going to do. Or completely opposite of that. We sharpen our pitchforks and we go to town, I guess. I guess that's where we're at. Barbara Nicholas, no, bend the knee, salute, and say Heil Taco. Roxanne, we can keep fighting through podcasts. Look how much attention Jen and Pumps, the iHit chicks get. Just saying, keep watching for ICE, help your neighbors and community, and keep speaking out. Register people to vote. Why? Why register people to vote? We're not going to make it to November. Remember? Voting's a waste of time, apparently. We're not even going to make it to November. We're not going to have elections, according to some people. So why bother registering people to vote? Maybe just in case, I guess. Just in case. And the IHIP chicks, basically, it's been very good for them. The one chick moved from Oklahoma to a nice, cushy, beautiful, multi-million-dollar fucking apartment in fucking Manhattan. Good for her. I don't know what that's doing for democracy, for us saving our country, but it sure got her into a nice place. Jennifer Welsh. I don't know if podcasts are going to save America, but they could save if you're a podcaster that hits it big. I mean, even Adam the Woo, who was living in his van, took his channel to 750,000 subscribers, and he bought a house for the first time, a nice little house. So podcasts and stuff like that, it might be good for the podcaster. I don't know how much it's going to save America. Jennifer Welsh has a nice, beautiful fucking Manhattan apartment now. Those things aren't cheap. Just ask Rudy Giuliani. Remember when he was going through his troubles and he was losing his apartment? It was worth so many millions of dollars. All I'm saying is if we can't prepare for November and get people registered to vote and to get involved in these upcoming elections, if we can't do that, then it's either just like Sandy said, just fucking let it happen, or it's time to get violent. And I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying if we can't vote, then because that is our biggest tool that we have is voting. Really, I think if we can't do that, then the only other choices are just to bend the knee, just to bend over and take it, or the other thing, the violent uprising, the violent revolution. Which could happen, but it's going to take at some point. There's a breaking point, which means there's going to be a lot of shit that will have to go down, but before the American people would actually do that to a large enough number that it would make a difference. And I'm not saying that wouldn't or couldn't happen. I'm just saying, um, you know, I'm just saying if we can't vote, then it's just those are our basically two directions that we would go in. I think. Uh, DPD, I think so, TJ. The writing is on the wall each day. These motherfuckers get more and more brazen in breaking the law. They have everything, the media, the SCOTUS. Remember, they have elections in Russia. So when you say, yeah, I think so, it's like, do you say that what? I'm not sure what you're thinking so about. Danny Pomeroy, my pitchfork has four generations of what Republicans call uh, free shit permanently in Project 2025, tuning America in a mirror image of Russia, Russia, Russia. Republicans adding 2.4 trillion to national debt. Okay, so again, I understand all that. That's the shit. Again, if we're not going to get to November and the elections don't count, or we have elections but they're like fake elections like they have in Russia, should I just be promoting violence right now? Should I just, instead of trying to promote voting and people getting involved, checking their registration, going to vote.org, making sure they're registered, making sure they vote, that we turn red districts purple and purple districts blue and all that, or we vote blue, instead of doing all that? Apparently that's horseshit. I should just be calling that we take up arms. Is that where we're at? Are we are we there right now? December 23rd. This is the day we start calling for to take up arms. Brooklyn, I'm getting depressed. Yeah. Well, maybe you should be. Roxanne says Jen from iHip Hop, or maybe has millions of dollars before the podcast with her attorney husband. How do you know that? I understand attorneys can be rich and they can be millionaires. They're from fucking Oklahoma, for one thing. Probably very wealthy. Do we have a statement of their finances? Do we have their bank records? Do we know that they were already millionaires before that? Whatever it was, she made enough money to move from Oklahoma to fucking New York. That's IHIP money. That's not husband lawyer money. Otherwise, she would have moved there years ago. My point is, and it's not really to put down that. My point is that I'm not sure if podcasts are going to save America. I mean, it helps. I think it helps to have good, certainly to have people like Hal Sparks and the iHip girl ladies, Midas Touch, these places. It's good to have that, to have these voices that will not, capitulate to Donald Trump like CBS and Barry Weiss is doing and all that kind of shit. I'm not. So I'm saying, it's good that we have these outlets. Um, I'm not sure if that's enough to save America, but every little bit helps, I guess. Every little bit helps. Jolie, I'll never been overtaken. I'm not a fan of butt stuff. Okay, then I guess. But so, what do we do? What do we do? Do we put our hope and faith in the elections, or is that just a fool's errand at this point? Because apparently there are people in this chat room that don't think that the elections are, we're either not going to get there, or if we do have them, they're just a sham, like Russia-like election. So if that's the case, then, like I said, I think we only have two ways we can go. I guess the third way would be to leave the country, altogether. Join our Canadian brothers and sisters. Or go down to Mexico. Or Europe or wherever, I don't know. DPD says TJ, Jennifer, and Angie were already successful. She was an interior designer in Oklahoma. Who I'm not saying they weren't successful. I'm not saying they weren't wealthy. I'm just saying she made enough money to go and get a fucking Manhattan apartment, which is not cheap. And if she had the money all along, then why didn't she do it 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Why did she all of a sudden just now do it? And I don't really give a fuck. And that's not really even my point. I don't give a fuck about their finances. I don't give a fuck how rich they are. My point was that they did pretty well for themselves. I don't know if they did anything to save democracy or save the country. They did something that benefited themselves. You guys can stick up for the IHIP ladies all you want. More power to them. I think they have a great show. Good for them. But man, I hit a nerve on that one, didn't I? James Jaramillo says I guess we might as well leave the country before we end up in a dictatorship with the possibility of Trump Jr. taking over. Think we're fucked now? Again, not trying to start shit. And that's kind of what I just said too. I came up with the third option, and that is to leave the country. So I guess at this point, elections are out of the question because we're either A, we're not going to have elections, or B, they're going to be sham elections. That's that. Or and so our only options left are either we just take it and accept it, or B, we take up arms and have a full-on revolution, a military type fight like that, or we just I'll leave the country. We all go to Canada or Mexico or Europe or Asia or anywhere else but here, I guess. I guess those are our three options. DPD says, I think the revolution is on the horizon. And then okay, is it a peaceful revolution or is it a violent revolution? I guess most revolutions are violent. So well, the revolution will not be televised. No, but it'll be all on our phones. Again, I'm not going to go on and on about about Jin, about the IHIP ladies. Okay, you love them; they're great, they're wonderful, good. I'm glad you found someone that you like. God forbid I say anything even remotely not completely 100% positive about one of your fucking people that you love. These IHIP ladies that are judgmental as fuck, and have they looked in a mirror lately? They're judgmental as fuck about how Trump looks. And I always ask them, have you looked in a fucking mirror lately, ladies? I mean, God, they're not that great looking. And they act like they can sit there and body shame everybody else or whatever. Boy, I'm really digging myself in a hole today. God forbid I have to say one bad thing about these motherfucking IHIP ladies. Fuck them. They're just clickbaity. They're just total clickbaity bitches anyhow. You guys are falling for it, man. You're falling for their clickbait. Anna Moore says, independent media is growing exponentially. People want the truth. Podcast might save America. Will it be enough in time? Do we have enough time? Apparently we don't have enough time. We can't even make it till November of next year. We can't even make it to November. So hopefully these podcasts will save us before November. Elizabeth Martinez is here. Buenos dias. John Ola, to all happy holidays. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you for coming on in. Nick Rich, resistance ain't futile, folks. Don't leave cause some good trouble. Well, that's what I'm all for peaceful protest. I'm all for no kings type of events going on. I'm for that kind of stuff. DPD 5844 says we are at the point where this motherfucker is placing his name on buildings. He has withheld money from states because they are democratic. He is using our military against us. I can go on. Okay, let's take this point by point. All the shit that he's putting his names on the buildings, as soon as he is out of office, all that shit will be ripped right down. It'll be taken right off. Withholding money from states because they're democratic. I don't know, has he actually done that or has he threatened to do that? But the states will just have to buckle down until he's out of office. He's using the military against us. So far, that's been repelled, I think. If you're talking about National Guard, California kicked out the National Guard that he sent in. I think Illinois has been doing that. I'm not saying that he's not doing bad shit. I'm just saying if voting is not an option, what are our options? Jolie says, "I love the IHIP ladies. They're doing great, telling it like it is, and they're funny." Yeah, I think they're overrated. If you want to know the truth, I think they're very overrated. Danny Pomeroy says, "No, you didn't. They IHOP. Now I want pancakes. Complained about the Democrats is the problem. That's totally false. I don't know, but I want pancakes now. Now that you mentioned IHOP, that's all I care about is pancakes." The Soulcraft turned California into a new republic. Rest of the country will miss them. Again, what? How do you do that? You just snap your fingers? How does a state? Are you talking about like the state seceding, like secession, seceding? Is that what you're talking about? These are major, major, major things that aren't just a wave of the hand. I mean, realistically, I mean, we can talk hypothetically. Yeah, maybe a whole bunch of blue states should secede, and we can just form our own little blue states of America. That might be kind of cool. But realistically, getting back into the real world, out of our little hypothetical fantasy world, getting back into the real world, are the blue states going to secede, or is California going to secede from the Union? Are you serious right now? Do you really think that's going to happen? Is that a realistic possibility? Convince me that that's a real thing that could really happen. I don't want hypotheticals. I don't want fantasy. How do you turn California into a new republic? You don't just turn something into it. You don't just you don't wiggle your nose like Bewitched. Remember how she could wiggle her nose? I'm talking about James Jaramillo says we aren't going to have elections in November, and if we do, DPD says they're sham Russian elections. Are we going to? Is California going to secede? And then I'm going to move back to California apparently really quick because I don't want to be on this side of the state line. I want to be on that side of the state line. But if they're going to do it, they better do it real quick here before we lose everything. Roxanne says, get some coffee. Why? Because I made some little negative statements about your girls? About Jan and Jin and whatever the fuck their names are? I made a little bit. I wasn't licking their taints. The girls have taints, I guess. So I need coffee? Hey, Trucker John will talk shit about anybody. I'll talk shit about Midas Touch. I'll talk shit about David Packman, I mean, I'll talk shit about all of them. It doesn't mean I don't agree with them a lot of times. Jolie says, I don't care who likes who. I'm not a fan of BB and Texas Paul. We all have individual tastes. That's okay. Michael McAndrews says, hey, Michael. Thanks for being here. I do appreciate you coming on in. Michael says, I like them all. But if we're at the any means necessary stage, then that means any means necessary. Are you ready for that? I'll tell you what, I'm an old 64-year-old guy that has a hard time getting up out of the chair. And walking to the bus stop is a big chore for me. I'm not sure how much how useful I would be. I guess I could pull a trigger. I guess I could pull a trigger. But I ain't running, and I ain't really throwing down on anybody. Probably. I could pull a trigger. Is that where we're at? It sounds like that's where we're at. I don't know. I thought we were just at the let's all vote stage, and let's hold some peaceful protest stage. Instead of getting 7 million people out for No Kings, how about we get 10 million out or 12 million out? That's where I thought we were at, but apparently we're at the the other stage. I guess we're loading up our guns, I guess. I don't know. Roxanne, someone's got to call these corporate Democrats. See, that's another thing. All these fucking IHIP chicks do is they bitch and complain about Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, but they don't offer any suggestions as to what they should do. Jennifer Welch and Pumps, they goddamn well know that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are in the minority and that they're very limited in what they can do. And yet it's very clickbaity, right? Or it's very they get people riled up or on their side if they shit talk Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, even though they know goddamn well that they're doing everything that they can do because they're in the fucking minority. We got a winter weather thing here for Reno. That's up north. I'm just looking at some weather. Looks like we got some weather coming in here. So yeah. But they goddamn know that they're pretty well handcuffed, and yet they get a lot of clicks off of shit talking Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. Hey, I never said they weren't. I never said that they weren't smart. They know how to get the clicks. They know how to get the views by shit talking and not really offering any solutions. They don't offer any solutions. They just shit talk. So that's why I don't really have a lot of respect for those two women. You know? Unless you're going to offer some solutions, then shut the fuck up. But that's what that's what I say. DPD says, TJ, I think by any means necessary means which means it could be peaceful or messy. The truth, but people are already saying the peaceful part's not going to work. So now we're at the messy part. We're at the messy, violent part. It's going on. DBD says, and truth be told, the only way we receive the truth is through podcast and independent media. Well, then you get it right here at Trucker John Show. I'm way more honest than the fucking IHIP ladies are. I'll tell you that much for sure right now. Roxanne says, don't fucking watch them anymore then. I don't really watch them, very rarely. They come up sometimes on my feed and I'll watch it. MTN is fucking clickbait as far as I'm concerned. Me too, I believe that it's very clickbaity. And two fucking women talking shit about men. Ooh, now she's ugly and clickbait doesn't deserve two places to live. Didn't say she didn't deserve two places to live. I said she's her podcast has been very successful, and that's what that was in response to another thing that someone said about saving America. And I was saying I'm not sure if they saved America, but they sure as hell did well for themselves. That was my point. And like I say, if you're gonna put down other people's looks, then you better be an Adonis. I don't really put down other people's looks. I'm putting down their looks because they're putting down other people's looks. I think I answered all of those things right there. The Soulcraft, if it came down to Trump taking violent actions in states, yes, the people can rise up. Well, okay, if that's, like I said, if that's where we're at, voting's not going to work. I've already laid out the three choices we have. There's three choices we have. And I'm not going to repeat them over and over again. I've already laid out the three choices that we have. Mad Mac, happy Christmas, everyone. Roxanne, I refuse to be yelled at. Well, goodbye then. I wasn't really yelling at you, but if that's how you feel, then okay. Go over and kiss Boston Brian's ass, I guess. There's Vikika says, "Whoa, TJ, sup? The ladies are actually women. Whatever. Like I want to see Hal and Boston Brian and you successful. I like them successful. Do you say same for Midas guys? I just did. They are very clicky. I just did say that. Nick Rich was yelling. Yeah, I really wasn't yelling. Roxanne, you can whatever. You and Jen have a great day. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna shut my mouth. The Soulcraft, they do visit reps to present solutions to issues, especially in Oklahoma. Soulcraft, all due respect, what would you have them do? You talking me? Talking about them? I would have them not shit talk without offering their solutions. All they do is shit talk. When I'm talking about Jeffries and Schumer, all they do is talk shit about them, but they don't offer any solutions of what they can actually do when you're in the minority. Shirley says, "Got to go back to work. Love you, John. Even when you're grouchy. Have a great day." I have ladies rule. I kid. No, hey, if you like them, you like them. I don't really like them. They rub me the wrong way. Truth be told. Nick Rich, some folks only deserve shit talk. Again, shit talk all you want. Shit talk all you want. Offer some solutions, though. If you're going to put down Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, but all you're going to do is say that they're a bunch of, milk toasts and that they give in or whatever. What were they supposed to do? DPD says, this is what I am saying. They are planning something, TJ, and they know they can't win even among their own voters. They can't run on policy because they are in every sense of the way. So what's left? I'm saying what's left is voting. I'm still on the. I think we are going to have November elections. I think we are going to um, survive whatever tactics that the right wing and the Republicans are going to try if we get the huge numbers of voters. I've always maintained that it's harder to cheat when you have a really large turnout. Maybe I'm wrong. Ojeda again was talking about last night. He was talking about how there are investigations going on about the election, and he was blaming Elon Musk for being able to not necessarily flip votes, but just have votes disappear and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, where's the proof? Where's the evidence? I've been hearing about this ever since the election, but over a year ago now. I want to see results. What good is it to talk about that if we're not going to see something done about it? Belfast Bob, you need to pass legislation that prevents the Supreme Court members serving only 10 to 15 years or adding a few more places that Dems can fill to even it out. Yeah, I'm all for Supreme Court expansion from 9 to 13. I'm all in favor of that. As far as putting term limits on that those all take acts of Congress. Again, we're just chasing our tails. We go round and round and round. And realistically, those things probably aren't going to happen unless we have Democratic majorities. How do we get Democratic majorities? We have to vote. We have to get out and vote. And I think having this attitude that our elections are fixed and they're just Russian scams, sham elections, or they're not even going to hold the elections. I think that's all negativity. I think we have to operate, whether or not they're sham elections, or whether or not they're not going to have them or not. I think we have to operate under the assumption that we are going to have them, and they will be as free and fair as possible. We have to operate under that until it is shown that it's not. Nick Rich, real men respect women. 21st century suffragettes say a few things that might upset you too. I watch them all the time, and they have not upset me that I can think of. I like 21st century suffragettes. I watch them all the time, Nick. Every day, or not every day, but just about every time they're on, I watch them. Mad Mac, that's a pretty cool hat. TJ, is it Rams? Yes, it's Rams. This is an old one. This is, I think, when they were still in St. Louis, I think. Danny Pomeroy, Americans are not the same in both parties because one party been living in a lie over John Trump. If his lips are moving, he's lying or shitting his pants. Yeah, I never said the Americans were the same in both parties. Marsha, member for 7 months. Thank you, Marsha. Yippee. And happy truck anniversary. 6 months. I appreciate you, Marsha. Marsha says, Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you, TJ, and all. Thank you so much. The memberships help keep the show going, guys. So if you want to become a member and get yelled at occasionally, you might want to think about doing that. It's only $1.99 a month. For all you masochists, sadomasochists out there, you might want to get a membership. If you're into getting yelled at, I guess, apparently. Steve Sayers is here. Hey, Steve, good to see you. It says Supreme Court has turned political. Time for voters to vote Supreme Court justices. Again, those are ideas, those are suggestions, and I'm not against them necessarily. But again, we need to vote. Um, I mean, uh, we need to vote. We need to get the majorities back for any of this stuff to even have a chance of happening. But then we kind of have this defeatist attitude that there's not going to be any elections and the elections are shams. So then why bother? That's what people are going to say. Why bother? Why bother having elections? Because it's a sham. They're fake. They're not. Your vote's not going to be counted. Do you see the how that leads when you have that you take on that attitude? How that just leads to people not voting. It's self defeatist. DPD and getting back to Jeffries and Schumer, they are feckless. They sanctioned Representative Al Green for speaking the truth about the orange pedophile, but yet they do nothing to Randy Fine. I don't even know who Randy Fine is. Then vote them out. The people in New York, they're both from New York, can vote them the fuck out. If they're so bad. I would love to see AOC run for Senate. Belfast Bob says Stephen Sayers can't understand how Obama couldn't get his Supreme Court picks while in power, but Republicans could. Look up, Mitch. What's his face? Danny Pomeroy. How many vacations in 2026? House Speaker MAGA Mike, I believe 10 weeks paid vacation in Russia is a record, and Democrats stayed working for you. I'm all for Democrats. I'm a Democrat. I don't. This is the first time that I'm hearing that Mike Johnson had 10 weeks paid vacation in Russia. I know that they take a lot of recesses from Congress and they go back to their home districts. Um, this is the first I'm hearing of Mike Johnson going to Russia, to be quite honest. I hadn't heard of that. MJ Daniels says it does Democrats no good to talk about Republican election fraud with no majority. Best thing they can do now is get people like Crockett on TV at every chance. And I agree. We need to look forward to the next elections in November. But we have this attitude that there's not going to be any elections. So it's all, like I say, it's all self defeating. Marcia says, just stopping by to say hello. I've had nothing but doctor appointments, labs, and imaging for the last month. Good vibes would be appreciated. I'm not doing so great. Love y'all. Sorry for the absence. Marcia, hope all goes well. Sorry to hear all the stuff you're going through. And we'll try to get some good vibes to you. That's all said, Marcia, folks. Our thoughts of healing and just good thoughts, good vibes. DPD says, 8 Democrats gave up for a fake handshake and received nothing because we are still in the same boat. They gave up easily. They didn't give up easily. It was 40 freaking days, and people were going without paychecks. Hundreds of thousands of people were going without paychecks. It was well over 40 days they weren't going to get anything anyhow. So I mean, that's a matter of opinion. I mean, I don't think that the uh, I agreed with what those 8 Democrats did. So they didn't give up easily. They went. It was over 40 days, the longest ever, the longest shutdown ever, and people were really really hurting. And I know people are hurting now with the subsidies, the Obamacare subsidies going away. People are going to be hurting, but they weren't going to get that anyhow. We've seen that they still aren't getting it. And we can shut the government down again in January because they only had continuing resolutions until January. So we can do it again. They don't give up too easily when they have power. It says they give up. DPD says they give up too easily when they have power, no matter how small it may be. You need to. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, but um, we could still have a government shutdown right now, and we would still not be any better. In fact, we would be. Let's say if let's say they didn't do that, and we were still in the government shutdown. What would it be like at 80 days now or 90 days with people not getting checks, not getting paid? You really think we would be in a better place? I mean, maybe maybe that would have spurred people more, people to really put the pressure on their Republican representatives. Maybe. Meanwhile, people are being pushed out on the streets. I know what it's like to be pushed out on the street, and I see homeless people every day when I walk to the bus. And you guys know I was out almost on the street. Now we've got families out on the streets. I'm just saying that I don't think it's such a cut and dried, easy decision to make, and I don't think that um, attacking other Democrats is the way to go. I think we should have some sort of united front against the Republicans. But Charles, I'm still going to vote, and everyone else should too. I agree. I think we need to um, not be self-defeatist. DPD 5844, another fun fact: the orange pedophile is planning on turning DC into a freedom city. This would make it possible for corporations to run DC. Peter Thiel has his eye on DC. Just more reason for us to vote in November, to vote Democrat, to vote blue, no matter who. Belfast Bob, did he meet the gay Russian Mike Johnson? Laughing out loud. I don't know. I didn't even. I never heard. I haven't heard of Mike Johnson going to Russia. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. I'm just saying I didn't. This is the first time hearing of it. Um, James Herrero says my point was made earlier. Kentucky, by next November, we may not have the ability to vote. So let's just throw up our arms and not vote, I guess. Danny Pomeroy says not Mike Johnson. Republicans in general left for Russia in the shutdown. It's fucking crazy. Any congressperson is going to Russia today for what more troll farming training. Damn fools. It never was about us. Yeah, I don't remember hearing about that one. I remember hearing about the one of like I guess it was during Trump's first term when wasn't Mike Johnson. It was the other Johnson from Wisconsin was one of them. What's his name? And a few others. I think it might have been Lindsey Graham or whatever. A few of them went to Russia on the 4th of July of all days. They go to Russia on the 4th of July. If that's not saying, if that's not like a big fuck you to their constituents, then I don't know what is. Sandy Foltz, I'm going to be home alone on the holiday, and I'm going to be cooking a ham on Christmas Eve. Maybe there's someone at your church. There's something maybe going on, Sandy, or something. You know. Belfast Bob, trust me, voting works. I'm just saying we have to go. We have to carry on, and at the very least, make sure we vote and vote for good Democrats all across, all up and down the ticket. At the very least, I know there are concerns about voter fraud, about election fraud, about Republican cheating, about Elon Musk when he was involved with the last one. I don't know if he'll be involved in this one or not, but these are legitimate concerns, absolutely. But I think we still have to um, vote. DPD, I knew Schumer was full of shit when he stood on the Senate floor and had the audacity to say, McConnell, my friend Mitch, who has reached across the aisle, what the fuck McConnell would eat his firstborn. I understand. Look, I don't like that shit either, but that's old school diplomacy. You know, that's what they do. They kiss each other's asses all the time. Um, Again, I would much rather see AOC in that seat, in Schumer's seat. But even AOC has learned how to be much more tactful and diplomatic than when she first got into Congress. Those are those are some of the things you got to do because they are working in Congress to try to pass bills, and you're going to need at some point you're going to need someone to cross over. So you can't burn all your bridges. Being a politician is not as easy as when we armchair it here in our armchairs. It's not so easy, you know. You don't want to burn your bridges. You might need that vote at some point. You might need someone to come over. And if all you're doing is throwing sharp elbows at each other, then what are you going to do? Will you ever get anything done? Will you ever have any bipartisanship? Danny Pomeroy says it worked, John, because Republicans will not hold town hall meetings, and when they do hold them, town hall meetings, it's all political theater, staged bullshit from Republicans lying to Americans. What worked? Are you talking about the government shutdown worked? It didn't look like it was working to me. Anna Moore says, TJ, I'm still traumatized whenever I hear a knock at your door. You and me both, Anna Moore. Sandy Foltz says, it's very sad when you have no place to go for Christmas. It's very upsetting when you're all alone on the holidays. And it is a time of great anxiety and depression for a lot of people. I don't let it get to me. I am a little sad this year. I'm not going to be with my family. I'm going to be here, and I'm just stuck here. But also, the way I look at it, this holiday stuff is all kind of a social construct, and it is something that kind of pressure, or we kind of put it on ourselves, as far as even not even talking about buying presents, but just even about not, you know, being with family and friends or whatever. it's all fabricated, I think, in a way. So I think you can lift that depression or sadness right out by looking at it that way. It's a social construct, and it's all kind of made up, and it's and when we only I think care about it because it's a tradition. It's become a tradition. It's a tradition. Like, at least maybe it's different for everybody, but for me, the tradition was we get together for Christmas and we do the Christmassy stuff. It's a tradition. But when it comes right down to it, it's really just another day. And I know if you're a hardcore Christian, it's religious, but you could also look at it like, um, if it is the religious aspect of it, you still don't. Then you should just be, I guess, saying happy birthday to Jesus or something. You don't really need all this pomp and circumstance. So yeah, I think I'm trying to say a lot of it is just up here. DPD says, I bet you any amount of money that Schumer nor Jeffries will endorse Jasmine Crockett, and please don't say it doesn't matter, because it does matter. I believe that Hakeem Jeffries did eventually endorse Zoran Mondani. I don't know if Schumer ever did, but I think Jeffries did finally. It took him a while, but he did, I think. Okay, well, how about we flood Schumer and Jeffries' office with postcards and phone calls telling them that we think they should endorse Jasmine Crockett. How about that? How about we take a part of it? We take some ownership. We take some responsibility as constituents, even though we don't necessarily, we don't all live in New York, but they are U.S. senators, and their decisions that they make do affect everyone across the country. Belfast Bob, I heard Grindr app collapsed again when TPS USA was in town again. I'm not surprised. They're all a bunch of hypocrites. The Republicans, they will run their elections on anti-gay, anti-LGBTQ plus, but then they're all doing the gay stuff. Well, not all of them, but a bunch of enough of them to crash Grindr. So they're a bunch of hypocrites. That's all that shows, and that's important to know that. It's important to get that out, that they're Republicans are a bunch of hypocrites. Brooklyn says, I can't wait for all this holiday BS to be over. Again, it's it shouldn't even affect you. If you're not into it, then just ignore it. I think you know. I mean, it's hard to when there's all these decorations and stuff and all TV shows and everything. But I don't know. Just kind of do what Sandy said about Trump. Just let it play out. Yeah, Danny Farmer. Ron Johnson had no idea what was in the yellow envelope. What was in the yellow envelope? Sunny folk. No, there's not. I'm not sure what that's about. Marsha says, Sandy Foltz, I've been alone for the holidays for years and years. Used to work every holiday year round. I'm used to it. Yeah, I think I think we just put the pressure on ourselves, and that raises our anxiety levels. When we need to just sometimes you need to just step back and just go, hey, look. At the end of the day, it's just another day on the calendar. And if it's all about saying happy birthday to Jesus, then you can still say happy birthday to Jesus on the 25th. You don't need all the holiday stuff. If it comes to that, I'm just saying, I'm not against it. I'm not against Christmas. I'm not against celebrating. I'm just saying at the end of the day, if not being there or not being able to do and celebrate it the way you kind of pictured it or the way it's been traditionally in your life, um, you need to just kind of say, okay, look, this year it's not going to be that way, and it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world if you don't spend Christmas the way you would really like to do it or whatever. It's not the end of the world. James Jaramillo says, I don't feel like you were yelling at me, Sir TJ. We're both making our points. And I'm glad you feel that way, James. Apparently Roxanne felt like I was yelling at her, but I think because when I said lick the taint, I think that might have been of the I hip ladies. That might have been the final straw for Roxanne. I'm not sure. Because I don't think they have taints. Well, I guess they would. Been so long since I've been down there. But hey, man, James Armero, you have helped me have some content today. Otherwise, I would just be talking about Adam the Woo all the time. But I understand the concern about the elections coming up, and that there are things we need to do besides that. We need to be active for sure, and not just wait till November for the elections. I think we need to protest. I think we need more and more like no kings. I think we need to do peaceful protesting. I think we need to show the oligarchs who are backing Trump that we're serious and that we're upset. That's the one thing that gets an oligarch nervous, is when the masses come together. When the masses come together and unify, that gets them more nervous than anything, because they have all the money. Individually, we don't, but together we do have the power that money would bring. Just by becoming unified. So the more we can unify, the more people that we can get up off the couches and out in a peaceful protest, that gets their attention and that makes them nervous. I think that's the best thing we can do. And as far as an actual violent revolution with arms and guns and things, that's a last resort. That's the absolute last resort. That means everything else has failed. Everything has to fail in order to get to that point. And I don't think we're at that point. That's all I'm trying to say. So if I was yelling at anyone and offending anyone, sometimes I can do that. Sometimes I'm very good at yelling at people and offending people. I'm just trying to make my point. Brooklyn says, I went to the same church for years and they knew the situation with my daughter, and still no one ever invited me for the holiday. That sucks, Brooklyn. That's not very church-like. I was going to say Christian-like because I'm just assuming it's a Christian church, but it's not very church-like. Belfast Bob, most of our local churches and community centers open for Xmas dinner and company over Xmas period. Yeah, there's probably lots of places that have things going on if you really, want to do that. DPD 5844 says, I also believe that Ken Martin, the head of the DNC, is refusing to release the findings as to why we lost in 2024 after spending millions. I contend it was due to centrist and corporate Dems. I'll have to look into more. I'll have to look into that more. I need to look into that more, because I will confess I'm a little ignorant on all that, about what the findings are and if they've been not releasing whatever findings. I don't know. I haven't really seen any findings. Every now and then I'll hear about something's going to go to court, and then I never hear the results. So I don't know if things are just getting shut down or what. But Marcia says, "Got to go. While helper is here, she won't be here the next 2 days. Enjoy your families if you have them." Thank you, Marcia. You're probably already gone by now because I'm probably behind. But thank you for being here, and I hope it all goes well with you. Danny Pomeroy says, "John, I'll be home for Xmas. Are you going live Xmas Day, like 1 p.m.? What's your plans?" Yeah, I guess I'll go live because I'm not really doing anything, so I guess I'll go live. Might as well. I think almost everybody else is doing like their best of. I think I think Hal. I don't know if Hal's going to be live on Christmas Day, but I think he's going to be on Wednesday and Friday. It might just be me and Hal and Brian doing, not doing like repeats and stuff. Paul Burrows, it's a retail holiday. It's certainly been commercialized, and we've been talking about that for decades about the commercialization of Christmas. DVD says, TJ, you can't befriend a rabid dog or a jackal. Okay, I think I'm done venting now. And I don't even think it's befriending. I mean, necessarily. Maybe they are friends. I don't know, as far as Schumer and McConnell. But I think overall, it's about diplomacy. It's about not burning your bridges. Like I said, when you've got to work out deals, and sometimes you got to cross the aisle, and you can't just. I know that we sit here and we're like, yeah, man, just get into Mitch McConnell's face and tell him what a piece of shit he is. Again, once you've gotten to that level, that's kind of a last resort. You know, and I'm just saying I don't have the answers, but I think all that shit is a little more difficult than maybe we think it is. But I don't like Mitch McConnell. I think he's a fucking piece of shit. And I hope if there is a hell, I hope he burns in hell for all eternity. Him and Trump and Hitler, they should all be in fucking hell, burning together for eternity. Um, so I don't have a problem with what you stated earlier about Schumer. I mean, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I mean, just generally speaking, I don't have too much of a problem with Schumer talking that way and being diplomatic. But there are times when, I mean, you can't do that all the time. You do have to call them out. And I think Schumer, we could probably find some video of Schumer calling out McConnell at some point about how he held up those Supreme Court picks for Obama and all that shit. I bet you we could find something. I mean, but and I agree. I don't mean to be sticking up for Schumer all the time because I've called him a milk toast. I've been critical of Schumer, and I've called him a milk toast pussy ass bitch. That's what I called Schumer a lot of times because I think he is, and a lot of the time. But again, I do understand that there are times for diplomacy. There are times when you like I said, you have to work with these people. And I think it's just a little more complicated than we maybe like to admit. Bill Carter says, "Hi, I'll be by myself." So maybe I will do a live stream on Christmas Day, and all of us lonely losers. No, we're not losers. We're winners. All of us folks that are not doing anything, we can hang out and commiserate, I guess, or whatever. We can have our own little virtual little Christmas on Christmas Day and just hang out. Have a place to hang out. Why not? Why the hell not? I'm all for it, as a matter of fact. DVD says, I'm already I guess on it, TJ, I have become very proactive in my retirement. Alrighty, that's great. That's great. Danny Pomeroy, fake elector ballots. They all got caught cheating. Now we have this Doge team fucking with our entity of free elections. Yeah, they got caught. They got convicted, and I think Trump pardoned them. I think. I'm not sure though. Um, you know, that's why I say elections matter, voting matters, and I know we have the issue with votes not being counted. Ojeda, if you guys ever watch Ojeda, he was squarely, firmly blaming Elon Musk for winning the election for Donald Trump and turning those battleground states, those swing states, like every single one of them went to Trump, even though Kamala Harris had 10-point leads in a lot of them with the polling, and there were so there's a lot of stuff that I guess we need to find out about. I just don't know if it's going to lead to actually anything, but I'm frustrated because I hear these stories over and over again, but why does nothing come out about it? Like you were saying earlier, DPD, about um, kind of suppressing these results or these whatever evidence they might have. I don't get it. Um, Brooklyn says it's the pretending of everyone else at church, pretending that they have perfect families and are gloriously happy. Maybe you might have to find a different church, Brooklyn. There's lots of churches. Maybe keep going to one if you like going to church and you have you're you have the faith or whatever, and you believe in the religion, and you like going to church and you want that fellowship that a church can provide. Keep finding one till you find one that has good fellowship. Apparently, the one you went to sounds kind of shitty. So, and I know I don't mean to oversimplify things. I know there's logistics involved or whatever. So, you know, but just a suggestion. Maybe find another church. Maybe there's one out there that you'll connect with and go, oh yeah, this I like these people. You know. Um, Josh sees money is only worth what we allow it to be. Money, 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 money. Sunny Fold says my church is not having anything. Um, yeah, probably not on Christmas Day. Maybe not. I don't know. A lot of churches have Christmas services and stuff. Again, maybe find another church. Not to say you have to give up your church permanently, Sandy, but maybe there's some other churches that have something going on for Sunday or Christmas services or something. DPD 5844 says, now getting back to the holidays, this is the saddest Christmas I've ever experienced. Even through COVID, I have my husband, parents, in-laws, friends, pets, and extended family, but it's still sad with everything. I think so too. I think even the folks that are going to have a traditional Christmas and are getting together, it does seem to be kind of you know, people aren't as uplifted or whatever, maybe. And I think it's the is it the Pell or the Paul, the Pell? There's this thing that I think Trump is sort of put us in this kind of depressed state. You know, I blame it on Trump. I'm going to just blame everything on Trump because he's horrible. He's a horrible person, and he deserves to get blamed. I think because he's horrible. Um, Danny Pomeroy says Democrats got cheated out of that election by Elon $1 million giveaway. Did that really? I wonder. I mean, I wonder. I do think that was illegal, and I think Elon Musk should have been charged for that, brought up on charges of electioneering or election fraud or election something, campaign illegal campaign contributions or whatever you want to call it. He should have been called out on that. But of course, that's why probably why he didn't he say something like if we lose, we're all going to jail because he did some shady shit. So, but they won and he's not in jail. So. Anna Moore says, I know we can only hope for the best and stay in good spirits. So if I come on Christmas Day, I'm going to try to be. I'm going to try to make it sort of just a happy day. I'll try not to yell at anyone. I'll try not to talk about licking taints. I'll try not to, talk shit about any of our fellow liberal podcasters. All that kind of stuff. I'll try to dedicate it to just being us together and hanging out and having a good time. I'll try to remind me of that. If I veer off into some you know offensive shit, just kind of set me straight. At least one day out of the year, I should try to not do that, and we'll do that on Christmas Day, I guess. Sandy says I got some gifts for myself and I wrapped them up and opened them on Christmas. I was thinking about doing that also, Sandy, but then I thought, oh, I'm not going to do it. But I was thinking about doing that, but you do that. That um, but I thought about doing that just for fun, just for shits and giggles. Nola says, DPD, I agree. Time for me personally to read my Bible and look for answers, although not sure if I will find any. Um, just come right here to Trucker John. You'll find all the answers you need. I'm just kidding. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Um, James Harmio says, Brooklyn, that lets you truly see faces behind the masks. Fuck them. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sony Folk says, I do the same for my birthday, which is coming up on January 18th. I'm going to be 62. Well, happy birthday coming up. We'll be sure to say happy birthday again on that day. Hopefully, we'll remember. DPD says, and for information, if any of you lived in Ohio, I would invite you all to my home for Christmas Eve and dinner. We have plenty of room, but everyone has to wear a mask. Oh, yeah. DPD, yeah, you're into the masks. I'm sure you'll be handing them out at the door. I wouldn't be surprised. Danny Pomeroy says, Sandy, how can you belong to a church and have nowhere to go for Xmas? So sad to hear that, or even someone dropping off dinner for your residence. Well, Sandy's the cook, actually. Residence, I used to go to Mega Mike Church. I stopped going. Belfast Bob, the devil has horns, but that's a lie. His skin is orange and he wears a shirt and tie. Nola Carnes says, I just order a bunch of stuff and pile it under the tree. See, I don't even bother with any of that. Like I don't even have any decorations. I put the background up just for the hell of it, but like I have no decorations in my house. Now, if I had my stuff out of storage, because I have a bunch of stuff in storage, and I have a bunch of Christmas stuff. If I had my stuff, I probably would have maybe hung some lights around the window here. I probably would have put a few things out. I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't. Anna Moore says, TJ, having a show on Christmas Day is okay by me. The kids and I will have our Christmas on the 27th as long as we are together. Alrighty, so we'll see you on Christmas then. Uh, Sandy says, "I like the church I go to." That's good. That's good. It's good to find a church. If you're a church going person, I'm not a church going person, but if you're a church going person, I think it's very important to like the church that you go to. And they're all different. It's just like people are all different, and there's some people you want to hang out with, and there's other people you don't want to hang out with. And it's not that that person you don't want to hang out is necessarily an evil or a prick or whatever. It's just sometimes your personalities just don't match up. So you hang out with the people that you like to hang out with. The same way I think with the church. I mean, as long as they are teaching and preaching the things that you believe in, and like if we're talking about Christianity and we're talking about the Bible, then we need to. I think you need to have a church that teaches from the Bible and sticks to the scriptures, and doesn't make up their own shit. So so there are certain fundamental things that are important, but then there's also a lot of churches. They all are probably biblically sound, but they just don't. Maybe you just don't feel the fellowship or something. So then there's nothing that prevents you from going and trying to find another Christian church. I'm talking about Christian churches because I come from a Christian background, but I guess it's the same if you're a Muslim or a Jew or Hindu or Buddhist. I mean, or whatever. I mean, you kind of. I think you should. I think you should if it's about fellowship, because it might be different for different people. It might, I mean, different religions might be differently, but it seems like for Christianity, fellowship is very important. And so if you're looking for um, one that you want to find one where you really feel kind of um, sort of a warm fellowship. I keep saying fellowship, that you feel welcomed, you feel like there's people there that you can actually interact with and have a conversation with, and that they would be there for you if you need help, and then and vice versa, you would help them if they need help, type of thing. Um, so but if you're happy with your church, then hey, then that's half the battle right there, I guess. Uh Paul Burrows will take all the fun out of a TJ. Belfast Bob, good crackers with good gifts in them, TJ. Little cards, I will be here. Yeah, come on in. We'll hang out for a little bit. You know, it'll be our little Christmas gathering virtually, through the interwebs, through the YouTubes. It'll be, it'll be like that. Maybe I should get myself a little, what do they call it? Charcuterie, or where? And you guys can watch me eat cheese and crackers, because someone's been bringing up Belfast Bob has been talking about cheese and crackers. Maybe I'll have some, and then maybe we should all get a little snacks, and we can eat little snacks virtually together. Danny Pomeroy says, let's talk about the highlights of 2025, like Democrats winning elections in 2025 in Trump's backyard is why Americans are getting abused by Trump. He has crossed the line of no return around Minnesota. That's a good idea. I think we could do that, like our year in review. That happens a lot. Um, although we might save a lot of that for New Year's Eve. 'Cause I don't know. I might be driving though. But we could talk about all the special elections, and the Democrats have been winning, uh, flipping, like heavily places that voted for Trump heavily, and Democrats winning in those areas. Yeah, I think that's a good positive thing there. Um, Belfast Bob and nice dips. It's all about the dips, man. Well, Carnes, I love Native American. I love Native. I love Native Americans. I don't know why I couldn't say that. I'm going to order that book, Trail of Tears. Edward says, I did not put up any decorations this year either. There was a loss of a family member and multiple loss of a beloved pets this year. I'm looking forward to 2026. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, you've just gone through some stuff, some heavy stuff, and you just don't feel like doing it, you know. Brooklyn says tequila martini espresso. There you go. Yeah, hey, go for it. Yeah, get them for Christmas Day. You can have your tequila martini espresso. Maybe I'll crack open a Modelo or something. I don't know. Danny Pomeroy says the reason I left was simple. They had 7 people wired up communicating with handguns. I said that's enough of this BS because it's not if it's happening. It's when I left church. So the church you had people were um, wired up and communicating with handguns. That was the church. Yeah, I think I would leave that church too. Belfast Bob says Nola Reed, bury my heart at Wounded Knee, classic but sad. Yeah. All right, guys. I've gone well over, and we didn't hand it over to Boston Brian. Is Boston Brian even on? I didn't see him in here. Usually he pops up. Um. Oh yeah, he's on. He's been on for 46 minutes apparently. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna call it. We've been on 2 hours and 37 minutes. Um, as far as doing the cab rides, I think I'm only gonna. I think I might just make that a weekly thing, maybe like on a Friday night. I'm not gonna do it every night that I go to work for a variety of reasons. I think because it does eat up a lot of my data, and like I was saying, even though I have an unlimited plan, if you when you get to a certain level, then they say they're gonna throttle you down or slow you down or whatever. I don't know. So I might just make it a weekly thing, maybe Friday nights or something like that. So, but I'll let you guys know about the cab rides because I think they're fun. It's fun to have you guys come along with me. Um, and when I'm sitting in the taxi lane, I can talk to you guys and stuff. So it's fun having you guys come along. But I don't think I'm going to do it every night, but probably at least once a week, maybe twice a week or something. Um, and I probably won't do the next one. Maybe not until Friday or something. I don't know. But see, tomorrow's Wednesday, which is Christmas Eve day. Still planning on doing a show tomorrow at 11 a.m. I believe Hal Sparks will be on at his normal time at 9, about 9 to 11. So I'll come on afterwards at 11, and I'll see you guys then. Sorry if I pissed off anybody, with the hip ladies and everything. Um, because I know that they're they're left. I think they even call themselves leftists instead of liberals. They're very liberal, very progressive, and they do some good work. I guess I just sort of sometimes they just bug me, but I'm sorry if I offended anybody about that. Um, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. and I think I'm not going to do an outro. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to do words of wisdom. I think in honor of Adam the Woo, I'm going to end the show like he ended all of his vlogs. um, when he would just say, even though this is not a vlog, this is a live stream, but in honor of Adam the Woo, and I do suggest you guys go look up Adam the Woo, watch his videos. You're gonna you're gonna fall in love with the guy. You're gonna love his videos. May he rest in peace. Adam, we're gonna be missed. Totally, everyone misses you. You're gonna be missed. Rest in peace, Adam Woo. So in honor of Adam Woo, I'm gonna end the show like he would end his vlogs by saying, and the vlog is over.